Hello，你好，Welcome back，欢迎回来to Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger. The date is July 29th. Woohoo, 2020. Why woohoo? Because uh, it's Wednesday. It's Wisdom Wednesday, and it's always awesome to be on Wednesday. You know, when I was growing up, Wednesday was one day during the week that we really actually looked forward to, aside from the weekend, of course. Because for some reason that I can't really remember, Wednesday was the one day we got to leave school early. Now, growing up in Taiwan, school was crazy. We had to be in school by 7:30, sometimes 7 in the morning. Some other schools would say 6:30, but like really, really early. So 7 o'clock, let's go by average. 7 o'clock, we are in school. And that's elementary school, high school I'm talking about. I'm not talking about any like special school. This is like just your ordinary school. You get there 7 o'clock in the morning. You got to clean the school. You got to raise the flag. Take about an hour to stand out there in the on the field, watching the flag go up every day, and then you wait for the principal and the counselors and the advisors and the teachers and the dean of the programs make their announcement, their daily announcement, and then you have to go through 8 classes every day, and usually you don't get home until maybe 5:30 in the afternoon. It was a really long day at school every day, except for Wednesday. For some reason, for our school at least, Wednesday we got to go home early. We could actually leave the school at around 2:30 in the afternoon, which was pretty awesome. So I always like Wednesday. So is that what we're talking about today? Wednesday? No. That was just a bit of a preamble. Today I want to talk about the 5 elements. The 5 elements that are very much tied in with every facet of Chinese life and Chinese belief system, are tied in with your fortune, with your misfortune, with your relationship, and so on and so on and so on. You see, for the most part, when we talk about zodiac in the Western society, you kind of keep it simplified. If a person is a Pisces, he's going to be this way. If a person is going to be a Capricorn, going to be that way. Maybe sometimes you add in a little bit about their blood type. But for the most part, that's it. You go by blood type. You go by which month, which day of the month they're born, and that's pretty much it. Now, when you get to Chinese culture, it gets a lot more complicated. You get the blood type, and then you get the Chinese zodiac. Which year are you born in the year of the rat? Are you born in the year of the dog? Are you born in the year of the tiger? That determine a big part of uh, what your personality, your fortune, your misfortune, who you get along with, who you don't get along with. And then on top of that, on top of the zodiac, on top of the blood type, you have the yin and yang, the positive or the negative. So if you are a man, then you're going to be one set of fortune, one set of uh, misfortune, and personality and likes and dislikes. If you're a woman, it can be something totally different. So a man who was born in the year of the rat can be drastically different from a woman who was born in the year of the rat. And then on top of that, now we have blood type, we have Chinese zodiac, and then we have the yin or yang, the positive or negative. By the way, that can be drastically altered depending on if you were born during the daytime or during the nighttime. It is said those who are born during the daytime will be more leaning towards the yang, the positive, and those who are born in nighttime will be more leaning towards the yin, which is the negative energy. Although I really hate to say negative in this case because when we say negative, people tend to think that that means this person is dark and evil, is negative. It's not that kind of negativity. When we say positive and negative in yin and yang, all that means is yang may be a more outgoing personality, and yin may be a more thoughtful and introvert personality. Yang may be very aggressive, and Yin may be very diplomatic. Yang may be very straightforward, and Yin may prefer to beat around the bush a little bit. Uh, so it's not necessarily good versus bad. It's more one extreme to the other. And then on top of that, on top of zodiac, on top of yin or yang, on top of your blood type, we have the five elements. What are the five elements? I don't know how many of you grew up in my generation remember watching Captain Planet and the Planeteer. That was a very good representation of the five Chinese elements, except the Chinese element, there's no element of wind, there's no element of heart. There's definitely no such thing as you get five together and you get Captain Planet. Although that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? There is a say in Chinese mythology or Chinese religion that if you are trying to get something done, if you are trying to open a business, if you are trying to accomplish something, build a house or something, build a foundation, an organization, if you can get all five elements in your group, that will make things go very, either very, very good or very, very, very bad. So it's a bit of a gamble if you want to assemble all five elements in one project. Uh, it is said that every time we do something, every time we try to do something, whether we succeed or not, that is already predetermined in the in our destiny, our fate. But when you assemble all five elements, you can override fate. So let's say if your project was destined to fail, it's quite possible that you assemble all five elements. You have people from all five elements in your project. You can change that and make that a big smashing success. Of course, it can go the other way. If your project were meant to succeed and you somehow end up with all five elements in your organization, you can end up with a really unexpected failure because now it's turning to a wild card. So that's something to be kept in mind if you believe in zodiac and fortune and the five elements. So what are the five elements and what do they do? What are they in general? What are they supposed to be like? It's very very convoluted and very complicated. So I'm going to keep it simple on this video because otherwise I can be sitting here for the next 5 hours and you guys would fall asleep and get bored and all that stuff. And honestly, I am not expert in how it all works either. You actually have to go to school for this. Yeah, when you go to university in China or Taiwan or Hong Kong. There are courses you can take, the degrees you can get to show you how the five elements and the eight directions and the yin and yang, all that fortune stuff, how it all work together. So today, I guess we can say this is like a beginner understanding of the five elements. The five elements are metal, Jing, 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 metal. Some people say it's gold, but no, it's actually metal, not gold. Next up is water, 水, Shway, 水, that's water. And then you have wood, like forest, like tree, wood, that's moo, 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 just like the sound the cow makes, moo. Next up you have fire, which is 火, 火, Hwo, 火. And then last but not least, you have earth, which is 土, Two, like number two, 土. Some people translate that as dirt, but it's actually Mother Earth, Earth itself, 土. First, let me show you how to determine which element you are. It's actually very simple. If you take the year you are born, the last number on your birth year, if it ends with 0 or 1, then you are the metal element. So if you're 1980, 1981, or 1990, 1991, and so on, if it's 0 or 1, you are metal. If it ends with 2 or 3, then you are water. 2 or 3 is water. If it ends with 4 or 5, you are wood. If it ends with 6 or 7, you are fire, and 8 or 9, you would be earth. So how this works is if you say, let's say you are born in the year of the rat, and depending on your element, a metal rat can be very, very different from a fire rat. And again, a fire rat can be very different from a water rat, and so on. So that is one way of how the element would affect your personality. What are these personalities? Well, like I said, it's very complicated, very long. There's a lot of pros and cons to each element. So I'm just going to give you one pro and one con for each. Starting with metal. People of the metal element can be extremely dedicated, extremely strong, but they can be cynical and very cold and aloof. So the pro is they're strong-minded, they're very dedicated, they can get things done. The con is they might not be very fun to talk to because they are cold and aloof. They're kind of standoffish. Water. People who are water, they enjoy free will. They can be very free. They can be very giving. But the con is they tend to be a little bit melodramatic, uh, just like water in the ocean. It's either really calm or raging tsunami. People who are of water element can tend to have that kind of issue. Next up is wood. People who are of the wood element, they can be very um, nurturing. They are kind, they are generous, but at the same time, the con of wood is that they do not take changes very well. People who are of the wood element do not deal with sudden changes very well at all. Sometimes a little bit of a sudden change in their lifestyle can throw everything out of whack for them. Fire. People of the fire element are a lot of fun to be with. They are the most fun of the five elements. They are outgoing, they are fierce, they are very loud and rambunctious, they are very friendly. But the con of it is fire can be very flaky. People of the fire element can be unpredictable and hard to grasp. They can be flaky. They can be uh, hard to count on. Earth. People of the earth element are very steadfast. They are very honorable, very honest, and very humble. That is the pro of the earth element. They are very steadfast friend. If you have a friend who is the earth element, uh, they are the kind of people that probably will never or very, very rarely would let you down, uh, break a promise or something like that. That is the pro of the earth element. However, the con of the earth element is they are not very good at thinking around corners. When they think something is the way it is, when they make their mind up about something, uh, they are very, very hard to change. Uh, so, extremely stubborn, not very flexible. That is the biggest issue with the earth element. Now, what's really interesting about the five elements is for every one of these elements, there is an element they're bad with, an element that they will uh, help, they will improve, and an element that will improve them. Sounds complicated, right? Like I said, this is complicated stuff when you really get into it. But let me give you an example and then you will see what I mean. Let's start again with metal. Metal is good for water because metal is can create containers to carry water with. When you want to dig a well, you need metal tools. When you want to build a pump, you need metal equipment, metal pieces. Uh, you want to carry water. You can make a lot of cups out of tin. You can make cups out of silver, cups out of gold. A lot of containers can be made out of metal. So metal is good and beneficial for water. So a person who is a water element, if you have a person who is metal by your side, you might find that that person is constantly coming to your aid. That person will enhance your lifestyle. Metal is also helped by earth. So if a person is a metal element, he or she can really benefit from having someone who is an earth element in their life because where do metals come from? You dig it out of the earth. So earth gives birth to metal. So earth will benefit metal. What is metal bad for? Metal is bad uh, with fire. Sorry, with wood, because metal tools cut down trees. When you're digging in the dirt, when you're chopping through vines and roots, all that wood stuff, you use metal. So metal is extremely bad for wood. What is bad for metal? Well, technically speaking, fire is bad for metal because you melt metal with fire. So, as you can see, it depending on what element you are. There are people who may benefit you. There are people you may benefit. There are people who is bad for you, and the people you are bad for. Let's look at another one. Let's say you are a fire sign. You're a fire element. Well, wood is good for you because you need to burn wood to make fire. At least that's how it used to be. Nowadays you probably don't. But um, so wood gives birth to fire. So wood will benefit fire, and fire will benefit earth. Because when things burn to ashes, that enriches the soil. So fire gives birth to earth. So fire will benefit earth. But obviously water is bad for fire, and fire is bad for metal because fire melts down metal and water puts out fire. And the list goes on. I believe that by following the previous two examples, you guys can actually uh, reason out the rest. What is good for what and what is bad for what, because it's all pretty straightforward and logical as far as that goes. Quite interestingly, in Chinese belief, the five element is not just for horoscope, it's not just for determining fortune. It is said that in everything the five element exists. In everything, everyone, the five elements there. They are not always equally strong, and they are not always set in stone. Just because you are a fire person, that doesn't mean that you're always going to have all the fire traits blazing away. Sometimes you may have them muted. Sometimes they may be down to an ember. Similarly, when you're a water person, that doesn't mean you're always going to be the raging, stormy sea. Sometimes you're going to be calm. Sometimes you're going to be a smoothly running stream. Let me give you guys a few interesting examples of how and why Chinese people think the five elements exist in everything, everyone, everywhere. Take our face, our head, for example. Chinese people believe that your fortune is written in five features: forehead, eyes, nose, mouth, ears. Five features, five elements. You look at a human body, the torso is surrounded by five pieces: two legs, two arms, head. Five pieces, five elements. Inside the body, there are the five most important organs. That's the liver, the heart, the spleen, the lung, and the kidney. Five major organs, five uh, elements. On your hand, your feet, five toes, five fingers, at least for most people. Again, five digits, five elements. Everything comes in five in Chinese belief. Now look at our numbering system. You go 5, 10, 15, 20. You can increase the number that way to make things go a lot faster rather than count every number. Yeah, I know you can do 2, 4, 6, 8, but honestly, if you think about it, most people think in terms of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How about in inanimate objects? Again, everything have the 5 element in it. Let's say a house, for instance. Well, when you want to build a house, you need lumber, you need timber, that's wood. You need to build a house on the foundation, that's earth. You need electricity in the house, that's fire. You need nails and screws and staples to hold the wood together, that's metal. And well, you definitely, if you need electricity, you need running water. So, water, right there. Uh, a table, a simple table can have 5 elements. Your table may be made out of wood, so that wood right there. Again, you need the screws and staples and nails to hold things together. That's metal. And even if you are using glue, uh, those wood still have to be cut with metal. Wood generally sit on the ground. That's earth. And water. Where the water come from? Well, without water, you wouldn't be able to grow those wood. So, even a simple table incorporates the 5 elements. Now, how about something like plastic? Uh, like, well, something as simple as this plastic action figure that I have beside me. Where is the 5 element in that? Well, that's simple. Again, when we talk about the 5 elements in the plastic action figure, to shape and form plastic, you need heat. That's fire, right there. To make the mold, to cast parts for the action figure, you need metal. That's metal. And to work on creating these action figures, you mostly need to work on them on a platform, a table, a desk. And that's usually wood. The wood right there. And water? Well, when you are creating plastic, you need to use water and oil in the formula. So there's water right in there. And where's that oil come from? It came from the earth. Again, simple action figure. Incorporates fire, water, metal, earth, and wood. Thank you for checking out today's Wisdom Wednesday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday, where we actually look at action figures for real. For now, have a good night, and 再见。